In the scorching heart of the desert, where the sun burns and the wind lifts the dust of the road, a man rises among the people of Israel. His name, Korah, a respected Levite, with a firm voice, piercing eyes, and a commanding presence. He was no ordinary man. He had witnessed the authority of Moses, felt the weight of Aaron's holiness. But within his heart, something began to grow: ambition. As the people marched toward the promised land, facing the heat, the thirst, and the weariness of the journey, Korah nurtured a question. Why should only Moses and Aaron have the right to lead? Doesn't God also speak through us? And in that moment, the seed of rebellion took root. With sharp words and 250 influential men by his side, Korah rose up, not only against Moses, but against God himself. What began as a simple question turned into one of the greatest rebellions in biblical history. But what happens when pride speaks louder than obedience? When man tries to take for himself what belongs only to the Lord? Prepare to witness the judgment that shook the desert. The story of the man who challenged God's chosen one and saw the earth open beneath his feet. This is the journey of Korah, a story of pride, rebellion, and divine judgment that still echoes today as a warning to us all. Picture this: the Israelites wandering through the desert. The sun blazes overhead, the air's thick with dust, and the people are frustrated. Day after day, the same dry landscape, the same manna, the same complaints. And in the middle of all this, a man named Korah from the tribe of Levi. Now, Korah wasn't just any Israelite. He was important. He came from a respected family line with real responsibilities in the tabernacle, the sacred place where God's presence dwelled. He carried holy things, served near the priests. He had influence, honor, and authority. But that wasn't enough for him. Somewhere deep down, pride started to grow. You know that little whisper that says, "You deserve more?" That's what Korah started listening to. As the days dragged on and Moses continued leading the people, Korah began to question things. Why does Moses get all the glory? Why is Aaron the high priest? Aren't we all holy? Don't we all serve God? He started talking to others, Dathan, Abiram, and on, and soon, the whispers turned into a full-blown rebellion. Imagine the scene: Korah standing tall in front of hundreds of men, 250 leaders, all influential, all respected. Together, they march up to Moses and Aaron. The air is thick with tension. People stop what they're doing, curious, afraid, maybe even excited. Korah's voice rings out, bold and sharp. "You've gone too far, Moses. The whole community is holy, every one of us. Why do you set yourselves above the Lord's assembly?" Boom. The crowd gasps. The challenge is out there for everyone to hear. Now Moses, the man who's faced Pharaoh, parted the Red Sea, and seen God's glory on the mountain, could have exploded. He could have yelled, cursed, or struck Korah down on the spot. But he doesn't. Instead, Moses falls face down on the ground. That's the kind of humility that separates him from the rest. Then he looks up and says something that sends chills through the crowd. "Tomorrow morning, the Lord will show who belongs to him, who is holy and who he has chosen." Moses doesn't defend himself. He lets God decide. The next day comes, and the people gather to watch. The sun rises over the camp, lighting up the faces of Korah and his followers. Each man holds a censer, a bronze bowl used to burn incense before the Lord. The smell of smoke and burning spices fills the air. It's dramatic, tense, sacred. Then Moses speaks again, his voice echoing through the camp. "If these men die a natural death, then the Lord hasn't sent me. But if something new happens, if the earth opens its mouth and swallows them alive, then you'll know that these men have treated the Lord with contempt." And then silence. A still, heavy silence. Suddenly, the ground starts to tremble. Dust rises. People scream. The earth splits open right under Korah's feet. There's a deafening roar as the ground caves in, swallowing Korah, Dathan, Abiram, and their families alive. Their tents, their possessions, gone in an instant. Then the earth closes again, as if nothing ever happened. The camp is dead quiet, the air filled with the smell of smoke and fear. The people fall to their knees, terrified. No one dares to speak. The message is clear. Rebellion against God's order isn't just defiance against men. It's defiance against the Lord himself. But that's not the end of the story. Not for Korah. His name might have become synonymous with rebellion, but his line didn't die out. Centuries later, descendants of Korah, known as the sons of Korah, would rise up again, not in pride but in worship. That's right. Some of the most beautiful psalms in the Bible were written by them. Songs like, "As the deer pants for streams of water, so my soul pants for you, O God." These were the words of Korah's descendants, men who had learned from their ancestors' fall, who turned shame into praise, rebellion into redemption. Isn't that powerful? From the ashes of one man's pride came generations of worshippers who glorified the very God their ancestor had challenged. When you think about it, Korah's story is a warning and a lesson. It reminds us that pride can blind us, that jealousy can twist even the best intentions, and that questioning God's order out of selfish ambition leads to destruction. But it also shows us something deeper, that God's mercy extends far beyond one man's failure. So the next time you read a psalm written by the sons of Korah, remember where they came from. Remember that their songs were born from a history of rebellion, turned into worship through grace. That's redemption at its finest. Korah's legacy isn't just about the ground opening up. It's about how God can take a broken story and write something beautiful out of it. And there you have it, the story of Korah, the rebel who shook the earth and whose descendants lifted up songs to heaven. A story of pride, judgment, and ultimately redemption. If this story gripped you as much as it did me, drop a comment below. What part shocked you the most? Was it Korah's boldness, the ground opening up, or the transformation of his descendants into worshippers? Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the most powerful, dramatic, and life-changing stories in the Bible. Until next time, keep exploring the past to understand the power of faith that still speaks today. Now tell me, what would you have done if you stood there that day, watching the ground open beneath Korah's feet?